There are over 100 perks in Fallout New Vegas, and in this video I will go through what I think are the top 10 perks that will practically work with any playstyle or any build. Hi, I'm Mo and I'm trapped in Fallout. Number 1. Black Widow Lady Killer. You can get this at level 2, and when you get this perk, this will allow you to do plus 10% damage against opposite gendered NPCs. So if you're playing as a male, you'll do 10% more damage as female, and if you're playing as a female, then you will do 10% more damage as male. This will also give you unique dialogue options to be able to select from when talking to opposite gendered NPCs. And this firmly brings me on to number 2, Confirmed Bachelor. You get this perk at level 2, and this also allows you to do 10% more damage against the same gendered NPCs that you're either talking to or you're fighting. So again, if you're playing as male, then you'll basically do 10% more damage against male NPCs, and similarly, if you're playing as a female, then you'll do 10% more damage against female NPCs. And similarly, when talking to male or whatever gender you're playing as NPCs, you'll have at times unique dialogue options with them too. Number 3. Intense Training. You get access to this at level 2, and you're able to put up to 10 points into Intense Training. When selecting the Intense Training perk, it allows you to put an additional point into any one of your special attributes. Now, this might not seem like a big deal, but this is actually a pretty important thing. A lot of the perks on this list, and of the 130 perks that you can select in Fallout New Vegas, some perks require very specific minimum requirements for some of these special attributes. So being able to increase these attributes will allow you to gain access to some of the more better perks that are available to you in the game. And being able to do this up to 10 times is a pretty powerful thing. So Intense Training is definitely something worth considering, especially if you're trying to gain access to certain perks that otherwise you would not be able to get. Number 4. Bloody Mess. You get this at level 6, and getting this perk will give you a 5% damage across the board using any weapon against any enemy. And another bonus is each time you hit an enemy, there is a small chance that they will explode. Now, the great thing about this perk is if you get it, this will effectively increase any damage you do with any weapon that you use, whether that's ballistic or melee, against any enemy by a total of 5%. Now, when you think about it, this also stacks with other things such as critical damage and various other types of damage that you do, explosive and so on. So having a 5% increase across the board with any weapon is a pretty good deal, and this is definitely worth getting for any playstyle. Number 5. Strong Back. You get this at level 8, and you will need to have a strength of 6 with an endurance of 6 also, and getting this perk will increase your carry weight by 50. Now let's assume you have a carry weight of say 200 and you get this perk. This will increase the total amount of stuff you can carry by 50, i.e. giving you a sum total of 250. Now you might think, what's really the point of getting this? You don't really care about carry weight as such. Well, this is pretty important. In the game, to be able to sort of move forward, you will at times find yourself that you're constantly being overcumbered and not really being able to take everything. And that's simply because you're not able to carry stuff. And at higher difficulty levels, you will find that this becomes pretty important simply because a lot of things that don't weigh as much now weigh a lot more in higher difficulty settings. And as a result, you will also find yourself running out of ammo and so forth and so on. Also, being able to carry more simply means that you can carry more loot that you may not want, and in return you will be able to sell all of that stuff and basically buy stuff as well. So being able to carry more will, in a way, actually save your bacon a number of times than you would probably like to admit. So this is another perk definitely worth getting. Number 6. Finesse. You get this at level 10, and what this will do is increase the chance of landing a critical hit by 5%. So each time you actually fire at something, you have a small chance of landing a critical hit, which basically means you do more damage than you normally would. And getting the Finesse perk will increase that chance, i.e. a chance of landing a critical hit, by 5%. And this is actually equivalent to having 5 points in luck. Now, this is a really good perk. If you happen to have a weapon that, say, is an automatic weapon, you'll be firing a lot of bullets, and each bullet will basically have a chance of landing a critical hit. By far, this is one of the best perks that you can get relatively early in the game. Getting this perk will basically allow you to do more damage overall. And this also works with other things such as melee weapons, which can tend to be quite fast as well. So getting the Finesse perk will allow you to basically do more damage, and naturally the more damage you do sort of translates into the less damage you take. Number 7. Silent Running. You get this at level 12 and you will need an agility of 6 with a sneak of 50. And what this does is when you get the perk, when you are hidden and moving around, you will be able to move at full speed whilst being hidden, and this won't generate any noise alerting anyone nearby. So when you're hidden, as you're moving around, you actually generate noise, and that causes nearby NPCs to become alerted to your position. And if you have this perk, then what this basically means is that any NPCs around you won't notice you, and you will be able to run at full speed whilst being hidden. Now, the really good thing about this perk is you can basically plug this into any build. You basically go into sneak mode, or you just hide and just walk around really quickly and nothing will be able to detect you. And you don't have to have a sneak build to get the benefit of this. The other great thing is whilst being hidden, if you use any form of attack, whether that's melee or ballistic damage, you will do more damage. You will do sneak damage bonus modified. So that means being hidden, which would practically go with any playstyle or any build, so to speak anyway, will translate into more damage. So this is definitely another perk worth considering having. Number 8. Chemist. You get this at level 14 and you will need to have a medicine skill of 60 to be able to get the perk. Getting the perk will allow all your chems to last twice as long. Now, chems may not be something that you use, and they can be very specific to particular play styles. However, there are some chems that can be used with almost every play style, and when used correctly, they can definitely help you to do a lot of damage. Now, this particular chem that I have in mind is the turbo chem, and when you take it, it basically slows down time around you. What that really means is that you end up doing much more precise and accurate shots. If you have an automatic weapon or a really fast melee weapon, you basically end up doing a lot more damage, and you basically end up taking a lot less damage. Having this perk will definitely allow you to be able to have much more easier time, and also be able to basically protect yourself and deal a lot of damage. This is definitely one of the best perks around for Fallout New Vegas. Number 9. Jury Rigging. You get this at level 14 and you will need to have a repair skill of 90 to be able to use it. Now this is a very powerful perk. What this will allow you to do is every time you try and repair either a weapon or an armor, it will allow you to use similar types of other weapons or armors to repair your kit. So for example, let's say I was repairing my 10mm pistol. I would need to have other 10mm pistols to repair this one. But with jury rigging, I'm able to use other similar types of weapons instead to repair my 10mm pistol. Now this becomes really powerful when we consider unique weapons such as, say, the alien blaster. So for the alien blaster, I would need another type of alien blaster, which there don't happen to be a lot around in the game. But if I wanted to, I can use other similar weapons to repair the alien blaster. Similarly, say if I wanted to repair a combat armor, I would be able to repair this combat armor using other combat armor. But with the jury rigging perk, I can use other similar armors, such as this metal armor or this NCR trooper armor. So the jury rigging perk will basically allow you to have a much more easier time maintaining your armor and your weapons, which in proxy basically means you'll end up doing more damage and end up taking less damage. Number 10. Better criticals. You get this at level 16 and you will need to have a perception of 6 with a luck of 6. And what this will do is increase the amount of critical damage you do by 50%. So we sort of covered critical hits, which is something that the Finesse perk does. It increases the chance of actually landing a critical hit. Better criticals is a perk that increases the damage you do when you land a critical hit. So this perk is really well paired with the Finesse perk. Now, specifically for better criticals, every time you basically land a hit, if that hit is a critical hit, the amount of damage you do will increase by 50%. So this perk will basically benefit you regardless of your playstyle, simply because whatever your critical hit chances are, you're bound to eventually land critical hits with any weapon anyway, so this is definitely worth taking as you will simply end up doing more damage. Now that you know what some of the best perks are in Fallout New Vegas, why not also explore some of the best early player homes that you can get for free? Click on the video you see on the screen now to find out more.